We're playing some 6-deck blackjack today. This is a request that I get quite often, and we're going to be playing with a card counter as well as a ploppy because we're going to be playing in 2 spots. All right, we're going to play this bet spread, and just a reminder that when you do spread 2 spots as a card counter, it is mathematically more beneficial if there is someone else at the table. Because of that, though, I'm not going to be paying out the ploppy. This is just going to be more of a placeholder of kind of the table minimum $50 as just kind of a stack over here. I will pay out the card counter, however, and we're going to be playing with a minimum bet of $50, and then for every true count above that, so like a true 1 will bet 2 spots of 100, a true 2, 2 spots of 200, all the way up to a true 5 or higher is going to be 2 spots of $500. Right? I have $5,000 over here for us to kind of start with. Hopefully that's enough for this session. We're going to be playing 3 shoes. They're going to get progressively faster. I have kind of the cards ready to go over here in the shoe. I have a burn card I'll throw into the discard tray along with a discard tray camera set up down here in the corner for you, so you can kind of judge that discard tray appropriately as it's sort of like eye level as to where you'd be sitting at the table. Otherwise, I'm going to be counting in my head. You guys can count out loud, and then down in the corner, I'm going to be putting the count every 5 hands or so. I'll try to make it small enough where if you don't want to see it, you can kind of avoid that part of the screen with your eyes for a couple seconds while it pops up. But for my newbies out there who need a little practice, you can just be reassured every so often. Otherwise, you guys ready to count? Ready, get set. Let's count. definitely some ups and downs in that particular shoe. At one point we had hardly any chips left, but then that's nice big wins at the end. Our greens are a little bit less, and so are the $500 chips, but I think we have more blacks than when we started. That said, let's count this up and see where we're at, see if our count is correct or not. Remember, this plus the burn card should be the opposite of what our count is currently at. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 0, and 1. This was +1, and yeah, I had us at a count of -1. So those two come back together to give us 0, which means our count was correct because we used a balanced count. All right, I'll get these shuffled up for the second round, which is going to be a touch faster. All right, we'll give the cards cut, and then we'll cut off. I think last time I cut off right around a deck, maybe slightly less. That's why that very last bet in the last one, if you remember, last shoe, I was betting the true count as the running count, as there was about 52 cards or less left. I might also give us some more green here. Let's see. All right, and let's see how this one goes. Got a burn card, we'll throw it to the discard tray. Remember, I have that discard tray cam set up for you, so hopefully you can judge that correctly. Otherwise, you guys ready to count? Here comes round number 2. This is gonna be at 1.1 speed. Let's count. All right, once again, got those all done there. Let's count this up, see if your count is right. It was kind of, last few hands were a little rough besides that very last one that we won, but when we were finally able to raise our bets to a true 1, we lost those, I think, on maybe a dealer 21 if I remember right. Anyway, this plus the burn cards are the opposite of our count. Let's see if we are correct. We have D1, D2, D1, 0, D1, 0, D1, D2, D3, D2, D1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, D1, D2, and D1. This was -1, so yeah, we should have finished with a count of +1, which is what I had as well. All right, hopefully you guys are able to count through that. This last one, after I get these shuffled up, it's gonna be even faster. Let's see if you guys can handle it. All right, once again, we're gonna cut the cards here. And that last time, we only were able to raise our bets once, so hopefully we got a good shuffle this time. Maybe we can raise our bets a little bit more. Again, cutting off right around the deck, maybe slightly less. Throw those over into the shoe, grab a burn card for our discard tray. Still got the discard tray cam up here in the corner for you. We are down a couple of $500 chips, but the other chips are definitely up right now. So let's see if we can maybe get a good shoe and end up all the way. But just it kind of depends on what this last one brings. You guys ready to count? Ready, get set. Let's count. Okay, super negative count that time. But anyway, let's count this up and see what we got. This plus the burn card should be opposite of our count. If we are right, let's try it. We have 0, D1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. This was 0, which means we also need a count of 0. So it was negative most of the time. That finally came back at the very end to 0, but not a whole lot. I think there was maybe a couple there towards the first third of the shoe or so that maybe we put out a true +1 a couple times. But otherwise, we were betting the minimum as the count was mainly negative or 0 and never quite above that true 1. Okay, just for kicks, let's go ahead and count this up and see if we won or lost. I think we might have lost today, but we'll count it. All right, so we have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and I think this is also another 1,000 over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, yeah, 1,000 with these. So that's 4,000, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 775. So 4,775, which means that we did lose about 225 bucks there, which you remember in that first shoe, we were betting 2 hands of 500 several times. And so that's $1,000 that are out there. So to be down just a little bit after that amount, hopefully you can kind of see why card counting would work in the long run. There were a few hands where I was playing some deviations. If you're more interested about that, you can check out this video here on the screen. Otherwise, until next time, remember, this is A1 Blackjack.